Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, it's DMG and welcome back to Blitz, and today we are going to have another sub-replay video. This time it's all about Russian bias. I know this title may seem a little off for the first replay, but it is a good start to our presentation today. This is King Shadow again, playing in the Tier 7 Russian medium, Jesus, light tank, the LTTB. Now, I say medium tank because you could almost joke that this is a medium tank, actually. I mean, this is post-nerf LTTB, but before it had such a higher amount of front armor and turret armor that you could almost roleplay a medium tank, and when you had the second gun on the tank, you could absolutely dominate ridgelines with 8 degrees of gun depression. And I do believe that was the correct gun to use, but I don't think King Shadow's running that gun this time. He's running the slightly or marginally higher rate of fire gun with a little bit less depression. You can tell because the gun is just a slight bit longer. Anyways, this video is all about Russian mid-tiers. Now, Russian mid-tiers, you know, I would say Russians have strong lines all throughout the game, but when they really start establishing themselves, it is at mid-tiers like Tier 6 and Tier 7, or you'd even argue Tier 5 with the KV-1, right? Absolutely ridiculous amounts of armor on that beast. But when you get to, let's say, the T-43, this LTTB that was just recently nerfed, and for good reason, you start seeing these high DPM monsters, and even the LTTB for a light tank, you get that nice 200 alpha on an 85mm, and King Shadow's doing a great job working over these Tier 6 tanks as he is able to use his mobility, and still a surprising amount of front armor that he has to bounce an AC-4 Sentinel shells to absolutely dominate the enemy. Good stuff there. And now he's just going right into the VKM, just putting in a nice side shots there, not trading, or trying to trade instead of getting into a DPM war with these tanks now that the LTTB's armor has been nerfed, you know, and its DPM was nerfed a long time ago. This tank has undergone several nerfs, actually. You see the other red tank bump into the VKM, and it pushes him right out in front of King Shadow's line of fire. Easy shot there, and mistake by the enemy. A finishing blow to the VKM, and now he's into the last 4 enemies. However, it does look like it is almost even, with it being 3-2 in favor of green. Now, as a focus fire situation occurs, King Shadow's just going to move around and try and put in a few more shots on this other VK, it looks like. But the KV-13 is in his way and blocking him, so not really sure how well that works out for him. Anyways, he gets a shot off, and he continues on playing. Before I go any further, because I don't want to say that the real replays, or the replays related to the video are, I don't want to say more important, but, you know, the more of the main course, right? I just want to go through a few quick announcements. Unfortunately, or fortunately, like last video, they won't be as long. Crazy thing, I got a new iPad, so hopefully this improves my streams. There was, last Sunday, I think my iPad just stopped charging, and I tried various methods of trying to fix it. Didn't work, so anyways, I have myself a new iPad. Traded away some gigs, but, I mean, really cheap cost at the Apple Store, and lovely people at the Apple Store they are, and got a great deal. Anyways, got some new vids coming up as well. I'm sorry I wasn't able to feature all the sub replays. There are some great ones there, you know, 7.5K T62A gameplay sent in by somebody, another 6.3 62A gameplay, and a lot of 62A gameplays. I had a 7.5 E3 replay too, but I didn't get to showcase it because the update dropped. So, guys, it affects me too. I'm not, you know, I had 4 AMX 5120 masteries that I wanted to show you from my 100 game run there. Wasn't able to showcase those. So, guys, I know you may be a little bit miffed that I was not able to showcase your replay, but keep sending them in, and I will be able to get to them eventually. So, you know, like I said, it affects everybody, including myself, and I'll be the first to say that I don't like it when I can't showcase a 7.5K game in my E3. Kind of pisses me off. Anyways, King Shadow finishes off the Nashorn at the back and takes down the win for a mastery for 3,000 damage and 5 kills. Good stuff there. Fantastic game. Anyways, like I said, a few more other videos. There's a video, I think, on ammo selections coming up, a few more sub-replays, and of course the Back to Basics video with that new map coming out, right? I'll try and get to that as quick as possible. However, I know you guys requested Dynasty's Pearl, Yamato Harbor, and a few other maps before that. And like I said, I'm trying to go in order. And I think there's another one. I'm not really sure. what that would be. I think it could be idle time, yeah, but that's another video that I'm gonna get to later. Anyways, to the replays, right? No rambling. This is Fennel Culture playing in the T-3485 Rudy Bark Bark. This is Tier 7 Russian Premium Medium Tank is absolutely able to pick apart its opponents with high-class DPM and good mobility. Now, I get this question a lot. Which is better, the T-43 or the Rudy? Now, it really is up to personal preference. However, I prefer the T-43. Both of them have slightly different characteristics. One trades a little bit of armor for DPM and speed, but the other one just has more armor and marginally less DPM. Now, that would be the 3485 and the T-43, respectively. Now, I prefer the T-43 just because it has its magical armor that it just seems to bounce shells that it shouldn't. But if you really want DPM, and granted, this is a 1/10 of a second of a reload difference. That is like the blink of an eye, or less than the blink of an eye, right? It's so minute difference in the DPM of these tanks. But regardless, if you're a DPM fanatic, this is the tank for you. Pumps out damage in a ridiculous manner, and you're going to see Fennel Culture doing that today against this KV-1S. KV-1S is not doing a good job of trying to angle to him. He's just able to pen right through the front. Or is that a KV-3? I can't even tell. It looks like a KV-1S. But regardless, going right through, the Rudy just able to absolutely shred heavy tanks that you can see. And the KV-2 doesn't even really stand a chance in this moment unless he can get a nice pen with HE. Unfortunately, he doesn't get that across, and now Fennel Culture is absolutely destroying him in the turret. Can't really keep up with the DPM here. 200 damage per alpha shot in this absolutely high-class DPM tank. I can't get over that enough. If you want DPM, this is the tank to play. You know, it's more DPM than the Drak, and while it may not have the same speed as the Drak, and while it doesn't have as much armor as the Tech Tree T-43, you're still getting some armor that is quite decent. As you can see against the T-3485, the Tier 6 Tech Tree Russian medium tank, you know, the Rudy's just absolutely able to tear it apart. As you can see, the T-3485 cannot compete with the Premium's DPM and just shreds right through them. Good angling there, allowing for the bounces. Great shot there, right through the boxes into the KV-2, and now he's on the last two enemies. It's just more of a matter of cleanup, it seems like right now. It is a 4-on-2, and it is just about burning them down as quick as possible, getting in your damage numbers as much as you can, and absolutely raising those numbers, right? And this, even though you could just say that this is farming damage, right, at the end of the game, you know, how efficiently can you kill targets? And as you can see, you know, Fennel Culture didn't do necessarily the best job there as he's missing shots on easy-to-hit targets that are distracted. So, you know, hey, even in the ending moments is teachable moments where you can work on stuff. And his teammate does manage to take out the remaining enemy on the team. But good game there to Fennel Culture. 3,900 damage plus a little change. Good stuff there. Some serious pocket change for his credits, and 3 destroyed. Fantastic stuff there. Congratulations. And I also saw you on Bushka's channel with the Cromwell B Mastery, so good stuff there. Anyways, final replay of the day. This one is absolutely fantastic. This is TS Games playing in his T-3485 Rudy on Copperfield. Copperfield is a map not available to high-tier tanks, but it can be quite the kicker on lower-tier maps as it is so small, and you don't want to go in that death bowl in the middle, so all the fighting happens out on the flanks. Lots of sniping that can happen across both sides, and it is just quite a I don't even want to say dynamic, but you know, the play goes from north-south to east-west quite quickly, depending on who can win the flank first. TS Games goes right on top and starts putting out DPM on this VKP. Angles right back up down the slope and is able to bounce a shot from him. Because his armor was angled, he's able to bounce that shot because the T-3485 Rudy is not normally able to bounce those kinds of shots simply because it does not have enough armor. But when you're angling up back down a slope, tilt your armor up and creates an extreme angle that is able to bounce. High DPM is allowing him to shred right through this VKP. VKP fires and he's going right around him. Really easy stuff. Turns on the auto aim, goes right around the dead tank, and absolutely shreds him out of the game. Gets hit by a blind shot there and needs to get near cover. Going right for that KV-2. And I'm not really a fan of this move right here. He starts crutching auto aim a little bit. And I really think that he could have done better in this moment, being able to put shots across. Good shot there, but takes a bigger one in return, so definitely not a trade in his favor. But this is where the 35 Rudy's, 3485 Rudy's high DPM really comes into play, because while he does receive a negative trade in that first engagement, he is able to make up and compensate for that with a high rate of fire should the enemies stay out in front of you. So good stuff there. Another important thing I want to highlight is that he's also using soft cover. He's able to really abuse the camouflage that the Rudi has. And while the Rudi is not, like a light tank like the LTTB that you saw in the first game, it is a medium tank, meaning that it does have decent camouflage, and you can absolutely abuse mechanics like that with the Rudi to get advantages, or first shot advantages, and then absolutely shred them with DPM after they fire. Just like he's done with the the VK3002D, that's tier 7 German medium. Quite a rare tank to see nowadays. Seems like it's been power crept right out of the game, but it's absolutely able to stand up in certain cases. However, to the Rudi, not even close. Just being able to shred DPM at 200 alpha apiece, the Rudi just has a higher rate of fire and has more mobility than the VKD. And while the VKD has a better front plate, it's not by much, and you can still absolutely shred them. Good shot there into the Nashorn, pushing him right back, using HE at a very tactical moment, keeping him on low. Now he's just a one roll with HE. He doesn't even really have to aim. He can fire at the front. Doesn't have to even have a full roll. Good stuff there. Puts another good shot into the IS there. I'm not even sure if that was a bounce. I couldn't really tell, but I think that was a pen. Reserve my judgment actually on that. Not really sure, but good stuff there. And that is a fantastic shot there right into the cupola of the IS. Great stuff. I really like that shot because it does showcase the Rudi's good gun stats. It's not just all about DPM. And the T-43 even more so, because you get that armor and you just get fantastic bloom with Russian mediums. And if you go watch my All About the Gun video, I talk about how bloom is the most important characteristic you can watch for in a when you're looking at gun stats. So in terms of that, the Rudi and the T-43 both have that in spades. So definitely a tank I'd recommend picking up if it is ever on sale. And if you're grinding down Russian mediums, T-43 would definitely recommend it. This is very dangerous right here. Needs to be quite careful. Barely gets around the corner before the SP1C fires, and needs to put in shots quite quickly using his DPM. He's starting to get support from the T-150 behind him. He finally shows up, and that SP1C is about to get focused down. He needs to be quite careful as he is a one-shot for the SP1C. SP1C runs a 90mm, meaning that it does 225 alpha, easily within a roll for TS games here. T-150 reloads surprisingly fast and is able to take out the SP1C. It seems that TS Games is now doing a ring around the rosy, gets a lucky bounce off the front, or off the corner side, actually, of the Rudi, and is able to use its fantastic DPM to come right around the corner again, and possibly get the kill. We'll find out. There it is. There's the kill. Fantastic game there for over 4,000 damage, 4,200 and change to be exact, actually. Great stuff there as he does a victory lap around the house. If you enjoyed that content, please hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I hope to see you all next time. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion with you today.